Every year, millions of curious travelers from all corners of the globe make their way to the small Italian city of Pisa. Their destination? The world-famous Leaning Tower of Pisa. This iconic structure draws crowds who marvel at its unique appearance and fascinating history. The area around the tower is always buzzing with excitement, as people gather to witness one of the most recognizable landmarks on Earth. But the Leaning Tower is much more than just a bell tower. It stands as a symbol of imperfection that, against all odds, transformed into a global wonder. Its very flaw, the dramatic tilt, has become its greatest feature, turning what could have been a disaster into a beloved masterpiece. The tower's story is a reminder that sometimes our mistakes can become our most memorable achievements. Visitors from around the world can't resist snapping playful photos, pretending to hold the tower up with their hands or push it over with a gentle nudge. These light-hearted moments have become a tradition, filling social media feeds and family albums with memories of laughter and creativity. The Leaning Tower isn't just a monument, it's a backdrop for joy and imagination. Yet, behind all those fun photos lies a story of determination, ingenuity, and quite literally, tons of dirt. The tower's survival is thanks to decades of hard work by engineers, architects, and workers who refuse to let it fall. Their efforts turned a sinking structure into a symbol of resilience and human problem-solving. What truly sets the Leaning Tower apart is its unmistakable tilt. Unlike any other tower in the world, its slant is both dramatic and captivating, making it instantly recognizable. The angle is so pronounced that it almost looks like the tower is defying gravity, balancing on the edge of possibility. While other towers in Pisa stand tall and straight, the Leaning Tower boldly leans more than 4 meters to one side. This striking difference makes it stand out in the city's skyline, drawing even more attention to its unusual beauty. The famous lean wasn't part of the original plan. In fact, it started as a serious problem during construction. Builders noticed the tilt early on, and for centuries, it was a source of worry and frustration. But over time, what began as a flaw became the very thing that made the tower special, turning a potential disaster into a world-renowned attraction. The tower's tilt nearly led to its collapse more than once. Cracks appeared, and experts feared it would crumble into a pile of rubble. But thanks to ongoing restoration efforts and innovative engineering, the Leaning Tower was saved from destruction and preserved for future generations. So, how did a team of dedicated engineers manage to keep the tower standing, all while preserving its famous lean? How did they protect both the monument and the people who visit it every day? The answer lies in a combination of science, creativity, and a deep respect for history. Let's dig deeper, literally into the fascinating and dirty job of saving the world's most famous architectural mistake. Discover how experts worked tirelessly to stabilize the Leaning Tower of Pisa, ensuring it remains safely tilted for generations to come, just the way we love it. The Leaning Tower was built in the city of Pisa, Italy, starting in 1173. This iconic structure, now famous around the world for its dramatic tilt, began as an ambitious project meant to showcase the city's wealth and architectural skill. Back then, builders didn't have the advanced tools, machinery, or engineering knowledge we have today. They relied on experience, tradition, and simple instruments, often learning through trial and error as they worked. They picked a site that looked fine on the surface, but underneath was a tricky mix of clay, sand, and water. This combination is known as soft soil, and it can be very unpredictable, especially when building something heavy. This kind of soil can shift, compress, and sink under heavy weight, especially when it gets wet or is disturbed by construction. Over time, the ground can move unevenly, causing serious problems for anything built on top. The foundation for the tower was only about 3 meters deep, barely enough to anchor a small house, let alone a massive stone tower. That's not much for a building that's more than 50 meters tall. The tower's height and weight put enormous pressure on the soft ground below. The ground simply couldn't hold the weight. As the tower rose higher, the soil beneath began to give way, causing the structure to settle unevenly. Even before the second floor was finished, the tower started to lean. The tilt was gradual at first, but it quickly became noticeable to everyone working on the site. Imagine working hard to build a monument meant to last for centuries, only to watch it tilt before your eyes. The builders must have felt a mix of confusion, frustration, and disbelief. The builders tried to keep going, hoping the problem would stop or could be fixed, but the issue only got worse with each new floor they added. The weight kept increasing and so did the tilt. The tilt was a warning sign, a clear message from the ground that something was wrong. But at the time, there were no experts to consult or modern solutions to try. In those days, no one really understood how dangerous it could become. The science of soil mechanics and foundation engineering simply didn't exist yet, leaving the builders to face a problem they couldn't fully explain or solve. Why did the Leaning Tower lean so much? The answer is in the ground beneath it. The soil in Pisa is soft and soggy. When the heavy stones were stacked up, the ground squished down, unevenly. The side with softer soil sank more, and the tower began to tilt. As more floors were added, the weight became even greater. The lean got worse. Builders tried to fix it by making one side of the tower taller. But the ground kept moving, and so did the tower. The uneven settling of the soil is called differential settlement. It's like sitting on a soft couch. If one cushion is softer, you'll slide in that direction. The tower was pulled by gravity, and the ground kept giving way. Over time, this tilt wasn't just an eyesore, it was a real threat to the building and the people around it. By the 20th century, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was in real trouble. The tilt kept growing, and experts worried it might fall at any moment. Engineers measured the angle and found it was leaning more than 5 degrees. That's over 4 meters off center at the top. People stopped letting visitors climb the stairs. Falling stones and cracks showed the tower was under stress. The city of Pisa faced a tough choice: save the tower or watch it fall and lose a piece of history. The challenge was huge. Any mistake could have brought the whole tower crashing down. The world was watching. No one wanted to be known as the team that destroyed a world wonder. It was time for engineers to get their hands dirty and find a solution that would save the tower and its famous lean. Over the years, people tried many ways to fix the Leaning Tower. Some early ideas were simple, like adding counterweights to the high side. Others were more drastic, like pouring concrete under the low side to hold it up. But none of these fixes worked for long. In fact, some made things worse. The problem wasn't just the tower itself, it was the ground under it. Pouring concrete added more weight, which only pushed the tower deeper into the soft soil. Engineers tried to anchor the tower with metal cables. They even tried freezing the ground to make it harder. But nothing stopped the lean. In some cases, the tilt grew faster after repairs. It became clear that you can't fix a problem by treating the wrong cause. The real enemy was below ground, hidden from view. To solve the problem of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, engineers first had to get to the root of the issue. Literally. They needed to understand exactly what was happening beneath the surface, deep under the tower's foundation. The ground itself was a mystery that held the key to saving this iconic structure. The team began by drilling deep holes around the tower and carefully extracting soil samples. This allowed them to see, layer by layer, what the earth was made of. By examining these samples, they could really get a sense of the hidden world below and start piecing together why the tower was leaning so dramatically. They discovered a complex mix of soil layers, soft clay, loose sand, and fine silt, all stacked on top of each other. Each layer had its own unique properties, and together, they created a foundation that was far from stable. Next, the engineers measured how much water was present in each layer, and how that water moved through the soil. Moisture content played a huge role in the soil's strength and stability, especially in a place like Pisa, where the water table is high. What they found was, honestly, pretty surprising, even alarming. The soil wasn't uniform at all. Some layers were much weaker than others, and this patchwork of strengths was causing the tower to tilt. The engineers noticed that the different textures and densities in the soil meant that some parts could support more weight, while others would compress or shift under pressure. In the lab, they tested how much weight each soil sample could handle. Some samples held firm, but others crumbled or compressed easily, showing just how unpredictable the ground beneath the tower really was. Water made things even trickier. During rainy seasons, the soil became saturated and even weaker, making the tower's lean worse. The engineers realized that changes in weather could have a big impact on the tower's stability. To better understand the problem, they built scale models of the Leaning Tower and tested them on beds of soil in the lab. This hands-on approach helped them see how the real tower might react to different conditions. They also turned to advanced computer simulations, creating digital models of the tower and the soil. These simulations let them predict how the ground would move and how the tower would respond to different solutions. Through these experiments, they learned that if too much pressure was placed on one side, the tower would continue to sink unevenly, making the lean even more dangerous over time. The big lesson here? To truly save the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the engineers had to work with the ground beneath it, not just the stone above. Understanding the soil was the first and most crucial step in preserving this world-famous landmark for future generations. With a better understanding of the soil, engineers came up with a daring plan. Instead of adding weight or building supports, they would carefully remove soil from under the high side of the tower. This idea is called underexcavation. By taking away small amounts of earth, the tower could settle back very slowly. But the process had to be done with great care. Too much digging, and the tower could move too fast or even collapse. Engineers used special tools to reach under the foundation. They worked in tiny steps, measuring the tilt after each change. It was a slow and steady process, but it started to work. As the tower settled, the tilt was reduced by about 45 centimeters. It was still leaning, just not so dangerously. Saving the Leaning Tower was not a quick job. It took more than 10 years of careful work. Engineers used weights on the high side to slow down movement. They attached steel cables to keep the tower from twisting or tipping too much. Every step was checked and double-checked. Workers watched the tower day and night. Even a small shift was recorded and studied. They worked through rain, heat, and unexpected surprises underground. The patience really paid off. The tower moved slowly, never more than a few millimeters at a time. Safety was always the top concern. In the end, a little lean was left on purpose. That's what makes the tower famous. Thanks to this careful work, the Leaning Tower is now stable and open to visitors again. The story of the Leaning Tower isn't just about saving an old building. It's about learning from mistakes and respecting the forces of nature. Engineers realized that working against the ground only made things worse. Working with it made all the difference. The project showed how important it is to understand what's under your feet before you build. It also proved that patience, precision, and respect for history can lead to amazing results. Today, the Leaning Tower of Pisa stands as a monument to engineering skill and to the power of learning from the ground up. Its story reminds us, sometimes our greatest achievements come from fixing our biggest blunders.